Let's talk relationship. I am Stefania Pulio from the Gentleman Square. For those of you that don't know me, I am a men's love relationship coach, consultant, and I'm also a certified hypnotherapist. And I'm here today to put on my live as I do every week. And first of all, I want to thank you all for hopping on. And I also want to acknowledge you for making the time to listen in with some of my hot topics that I talk about every week. And if you are watching it live, please hashtag live. If you're watching it on the replay, hashtag replay. And, our common little joke that we have going on with my lovely co-host on on Fun Fresh Fridays with Zanetta, we say, if you're trolling, hashtag troll. But anyway, let's get to business with the topic of today. This is something that, again, has been brought to my attention through one of my listeners, audience, and I want to say thank you for that. I won't mention any names, but knowing when to pull back in a relationship. When do we pull back in a relationship? How do we know? What are the signs? Um, you know, it's so challenging, and I'm not sure whether you've experienced this before, but I know I have been in this situation where I've wanted to pull back, but I haven't been able to, and you know, the emotions get involved, and we tend to feel all these sorts of, feelings, emotions, anger, anxiety, sadness, disappointment. But know when to pull back from your partner is a really critical skill. Okay, this is something that is can be developed. And pulling back doesn't mean it's the end of a relationship. Pulling back can also be a catalyst for saving your relationship, or in some cases ending it because it's better for both parties, right? So whether it's a romantic relationship or whether it's a friendship or professional, pulling back is pretty much relatable to all those areas. And it's sometimes necessary, I believe, to take an actual, a step back and, view it from a different perspective, take inventory. And as I said, this can mean different things for different people, as far as stepping back. And generally, it involves creating a distance or setting firm boundaries, which I'll be covering some of that today. But pulling back is important. Why is it pulling back? Well, what does pulling back mean? Obviously, I think, you understand that it's where you are taking a step back, you are um, giving yourself space or giving your partner space to breathe, because sometimes things can get a little bit heated, right? But it's important to, that it allows you, you allow yourself to do this, or we allow ourselves to do this, because it means we are taking care of ourselves and our own needs. Because remember, there's two in the party, and you can't be always, be selfless continuously. And you also can't be selfish, obviously, because there needs to be a balance. And if you are constantly giving, okay, if you are constantly giving and not receiving in a relationship, and you're not getting anything back, well, you can understand it's going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to frustration, resentment, and even create, some toxicity in the relationship. You hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. But by setting healthy boundaries and, pulling back, you're signaling to the other person that their behavior is not okay. Okay. And that you may need some space. You need to just pull back and look at things differently, depending on the relationship, obviously, depending on what the circumstances are. And also, are your needs being met? Are you being respected? And that's a real big one for men. I know the word respect. And a lot of times, we hear about women demanding respect from men, and it's all very good and well. But what about the respect men deserve as well? I think that's really important and something that we need to consider. And yes, gentlemen, you have to set those boundaries to get that respect. If you're not setting those boundaries, you're certainly not going to get the respect, because you're not respecting yourself enough to set them and say, well, this isn't good enough. This is what I deserve. This is what I'm putting in, and I need, a balance. This is the requirement of how this relationship's going to work, right? So taking some time apart or ending the relationship in some cases altogether depends. It all depends you know, um, on the circumstances. So let's take a deep dive into what we're going to talk about. And let me see here. I've got some notes because it's such a big topic. But if you do have any comments, if there's anything you want to talk about or add to this conversation, please feel free to do so. All right. So there have been some studies that have been done about the success or the lack of what goes into a relationship. And one proven favorite of this data research is the theory of equity. Okay. In essence, what it means, it is that a relationship is most successful when each partner feels as if they receive their fair of, like, investment. I guess, a relationship is like a business. It's like an investment. It's what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And if you're not making, a return on your business, what do? You make some changes, or you may shut that business down. Same thing as a relationship. So if you find that you are giving more than you are receiving in a relationship, you might be wondering also how to pull back. Okay, because again, we're full of emotions, and we're going to feel things that are not going to make us feel good. And usually, we'll feel them in our body, we'll feel them somewhere, and get the signals, right? So there are a lot there are all sorts of reasons that one would want to step back if you are not getting that fair share of equity. Okay. And sometimes when you do step back, it just gives you time to breathe. Okay. But if you are ignoring these signs, and your heart tells you to pull back, but your head says something else, then it can be, hard to do. Let's face it. No, there's emotions, there's feelings involved, and we're going to feel all sorts of things. And at that point, sometimes we can feel like it's the end, but it's not the end. Okay. The last thing you want to do is invest way more than you have to, and then feel overwhelmed, feel stressed, and pretty much find yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. Okay. Now, reasons you should pull back. I know I did a little bit of a poll or a survey on my Facebook page, and I did get lots of responses, which was wonderful. And I want to say thank you for all those people that did respond. But it can feel strange to be pulling back in a relationship, particularly if you are, in that stage of love. You're feeling love, but you feel like you want to pull back because you know th- there's this, I guess, there's not a balance. There's this imbalance of giving and taking. And some of the reasons, okay, of when we should pull back, because this is the whole essence of what I want to talk about. And I want to give you, a few areas, and dive a little bit deeper in them, because I I can speak from experience myself, where I overlooked the signs, where I didn't give myself the space to step back and look at the relationship from a perspective of, is this relationship balanced? Because at the end of the day, okay, every human on the planet deserves to be treated with respect. That's right. We all deserve to be treated with respect. And if your partner, and I want to really stress this, particularly to the men, because this is very common with women, but this is also happening with men. And if you're out there and this is resonating with you, give me a wave, a heart, comment if you wish, or let me know if this is something that is true. That when your partner is calling your name, calling you names, is yelling at you, is fighting, gaslighting, or even in some cases physically abusing you, okay, then you're definitely not being treated with respect. That's right, gentlemen. I'm going to repeat this again because I know a lot of people, we can get caught up in staying in a relationship just because we're, a male in some cases, you know, for you men out there, and, we can handle this. But if you are being yelled at, you're, being called names, you're fighting, there's gaslighting going on and physical abuse, then you're definitely not being treated with respect. Okay. And in this case, you should really just end the relationship, if it's getting that bad and it's so toxic. But if you're not ready, okay, and I get it, if you're not ready to do that, then this is the time to actually pull back. That's right. This is the time to actually pull back, because when you're pulling back, all right, you are saying to yourself, I love myself enough to say no. I allow myself, I love myself enough to say no to my partner, and stand your ground, because this is where, standing your ground means I deserve to be respected. And if that can't be accomplished by talking it through calmly, in a very calm, respectful way, then it may be time to pull back. Okay. This is, definitely one of the reasons. It's time to just like step back and see where this is going. Take some time for yourself and regroup. All right. Now, second reason, okay, and this is something that I've experienced also, being in a relationship where your partner is being too selfish. Okay. Now, some people are just naturally selfish, and it's probably not even, they don't even know they're doing it. Okay. It's just because they can, or because they've gotten away with it, or, it's been allowed for so long in a relationship. It may even be, part of their upbringing. They were always, um, like always getting what they wanted. But that doesn't mean you need to put up with it. Okay. It's not up to you to put up with their selfishness. Some people, on the other hand, are too selfless. And that, gentlemen, shouldn't be you. Okay. Trying to please your woman. I know you can get caught up with trying to please your woman, trying to, make everything right, make her happy. And you are over delivering, over investing to the point where you burn out. There's resentment that starts boiling through, and it's not healthy, and it's not healthy for our own selves in that relationship. So ideally, there should be a balance, okay, a balance of selfishness and a balance of selflessness in both people, in both couples in the relationship. Okay, you shouldn't only care about yourself and your needs, but you shouldn't also only care about your partner's needs while sacrificing your own. Okay, because you're part of this relationship. So there needs to be this balance. So if you can find, or sorry, should I say, so if you find that you are too selfless, okay, do a check-in on yourself, do a little inventory. Am I over giving to the point where I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm feeling resentful, I'm feeling this is not feeling good inside my body? Because your body will tell you, you will get the signals, okay? And your partner is too selfish, then it's time to pull back. This is a good sign to just like pull back and, I guess, see where the energy pulls, okay? It's not about teaching them a lesson, okay? It's about really just seeing how the energies shift between you and whether she's also going to sort of say, oh, something's different here, let's talk about like, and maybe it gives your partner a little space to have a little bit of inventory and checking on themselves as well. All right, so definitely that is a very common one when we are either being too selfish, and the partner's being too selfish, or selfless. Okay, it can happen on either end. And number three, okay, which is the one that I think is also a very common one amongst men, and that is they don't appreciate you. When your partner doesn't appreciate you, oh boy, gentlemen, talk to me. Is this something that you feel, where you're bringing the bacon home, you are providing, you are spoiling her, you're buying her everything? Particularly, this is something I hear a lot, where men feel they're just like ATMs. And that's exactly the words that I've heard. They just feel like they are an ATM. Hashtag ATM down below if this is what you feel like sometimes, gentlemen, because this is part of not feeling appreciated. And most people don't express appreciation to their partner very often. And this is, you know, often we can get very comfortable in a relationship where we don't have to say the thank yous, where we think, oh, they should know. And I hear this often, where particularly from women, hearing it from men as well, they don't say, well, I don't feel appreciated, and often one party will say, well, I love you, I care for you, I provide everything for you. So again, that falls under the category of love languages, I guess, but that's for another video. But when you don't feel appreciated, that can also turn into some toxicity within yourself and then spill over into your relationship as well. So it's important that both people in a relationship show each other their appreciation on a regular basis. Now, this doesn't mean just for like big things, it may mean just even little things. I mean, appreciation just means I see you, I hear you, I acknowledge you, I can see what you're doing for me, and I thank you. Okay. So think about it. If you do something nice for someone and don't get a simple thank you, then doesn't it make you feel a little something in some way? Like sometimes in some people it's resentment, right? But it does stir up something, particularly if I don't know, you're cooking. And I know a lot of men love to cook and love to, have fun and get creative in the kitchen. And you are cooking dinner every night for your lovely lady and the family, possibly, but you never get an appreciation. You never get, the thank yous. That was amazing. That was, you just put on such a great meal tonight. Sometimes we can feel that we're being used. And we should be appreciated, right? For the little things, not because it's part of our job, because you get home earlier than, your partner, and it's quicker and easier for you to get the meals rolling. So that's your job. Even the roles, the chores in the couple's dynamics, appreciate one another. Let your partner know that you're being appreciated. And, if this is the case and your partner is actually taking you for granted, or you feel like you're being taken for granted, they may not even know. She may not even know that this is going on in your own head, in your own feelings, right? You should, this is something that you may want to have a conversation, all right? Rather than bottling it all up, have a conversation about, that this is important to you, that you get acknowledged, and that this is a need. This is something that, I love to do. And I know that this is part of my role and chores as, our couple dynamics, family dynamics. But, you know, this is what I would like. And if you're still not getting that appreciation, then it may be time to pull back. Okay. But have that conversation first. So these are the three areas I just really wanted to talk about when, knowing when to pull back in a relationship. Of course, there's many more, and I probably need a lot more time to talk about. But if this is something that resonates with you and you want to know more about, you want some more help with building that confidence, to set boundaries, to get your head around, how do I convey this message without rocking the boat in my relationship? Because you still love this person, you still want to be in a relationship with this person, but you don't want to end the relationship, obviously. And as I said earlier, pulling back does not mean it's the end of your relationship. It may just be the very catalyst that you need to, get things going again in your relationship, to make it stronger, build some good, strong pillars. I heard this quote yesterday. I was watching something on YouTube, and it was about, and I really didn't know the story about them. It was about Goldie Hawn and what's his name? Bert Bert Russell, is it? Russell Bert? Anyway, the couple that have been together for 3 decades, right? And they're just a beautiful couple. They've never married, and they actually met each other on set when she was 20 and he was 16, believe it or not. But the whole story is quite long, and I don't want to go into the whole story. But what Goldie Hawn said, and this is what her exact words were, to really, I guess, make a relationship successful and strong is when you have two very strong pillars really planted down, and with strong foundations, two pillars that are parallel, and you can build on top of that. And I think that's just a great analogy of what a relationship also should be. And if that's not the case, knowing when to pull back is really important. It's a skill, and it's something that shouldn't be overlooked. No one deserves to be in a relationship, particularly you gentlemen as men, to be in a relationship and put up with any kind of abuse. Okay? Emotional abuse is just as bad, if not worse, of physical abuse. All right, so that's it for today's segment on Let's Talk Relationship. I'm always excited to talk to you and share with you, all these different topics. I have fun sharing it with you. If you have any comments, please DM me. Of course, please click the subscribe button. Be sure to so you get all my latest downloads of my lives and my other video content on the Gentleman Square. And if you like this video, share it, click like, make good use of it, and I will see you next week at same place, same time. Until then, I send you love and I send you passion. Bye for now.